When Sudan's military and protest leaders signed a power-sharing agreement in August last year, millions of Sudanese saw it as a new start after months of political turmoil. But a year on, Mohammed Abdu says not enough has changed.
When we started the revolution, it was because of the economy, and when the first martyr fell, the goal became justice for those who had lost their lives in this revolution. We promised to hold those who killed civilians to account. That main demand is not yet met. There can be no moving forward if the main demand of those who took to the street is not achieved.
His friend Mohammed Ogail says the power-sharing agreement between the military and civilian leaders is flawed.
The political parties did not have a long-term vision. They were in a rush to reach a deal. They lacked a national spirit and went into negotiations based on the interests of their own respective parties and leaders. Now it's difficult for them to lead in the interest of the people at heart.
The signing of the power-sharing agreement, known as the Constitutional Declaration, came after months of negotiations following the fall of President Omar al-Bashir. The coalition, known as the Forces of Freedom and Change, which led anti-government protests, demanded a say on how the country would be governed. The deal with the army paved the way for the creation of a transitional sovereignty council, with the military leading for the first 21 months and the civilian for the remaining 18 months. It included articles to grant Sudanese more freedom and prioritized ending conflicts in various parts of the country. It also included steps towards democratic governance and stipulated the executive power be granted to the Prime Minister and his cabinet and the formation of a legislative assembly. There's still 27 months to go in the transitional period before elections are due, but many of the provisions of the power-sharing agreements are yet to be implemented. A peace deal is yet to be signed, and there is still no legislative assembly that is supposed to oversee the transitional government. The military has ruled Sudan for more than 50 years of the country's 64 years of independence. Some analysts say it's up to the international community to make sure Sudan completes the transition to democracy.
The Constitution Declaration was a settlement to reach a political stability in this country. It's been a year since it was signed, and the people who protested are still guarding their revolution. And the international community is one of the important factors that can make sure that no one hindrances this transition. The U.S. has sanctioned people it deems hindering the transition. The international community should now act as a safeguard to the deal that was signed last year.
Despite how slow the first year of transition has been, Mohammed Ogail says there's still reason for optimism.
The people have shown that they will have the final say in how they want to be ruled. No external or internal force can compete with the will of the people.
A will that has brought an end to 30 years of President Bashir's rule. Those who protested say they'll continue campaigning until Sudan becomes a democracy. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.